Greetings, salutations, and all that jazz. What if I did a whole video talking like this? But I'm not. I think I hurt my whatever. I don't talk like that. But good morning. It's the day after the 4th of July. This is like a series. I make these videos, I don't post them. I make more videos, I don't post them. You wouldn't know if I posted them or not because either they're there or they're not. But I might post this one. I don't know. I just woke up. Although I slept, I felt like I gotta move my body and stuff. So I'm out here walking and talking. But I went to bed at like, 10 o'clock. I'm talking 4th of July. It's the 5th of July. But yesterday, I just went home. I went to a picnic, a family picnic, barbecue, whatever. It was cool. So I'm a first generation born in America in the Jamaican clan, right? But then it was my cousins they came from Jamaica, they moved here. Then, I guess it splits, because then you have, so I guess they're I don't know what you call them, but they're here, and then their kids are there, and then their kids are there. And then you also have those who are born in America with their kids. So I don't know how that works out, but, and then you have those who were born here with no kids. But it was cool. I don't know the second layer. I know my cousins, and I know their kids. I don't know their kids and their kids. I think I might go a couple more layers. But it was nice, man. I went up there and I was like, because you know that it's like all these layers because there's pizza and stuff. If it was purely Jamaican, I can't even say that. I used to think I knew a lot about Jamaicans, being that my family's Jamaican. But when I went to Japan, of all places, I met so many other Jamaicans, and they didn't do what we did. I had to reassess what I knew. For example, at one point I was getting hired as a photographer for birthdays and baby things, and there's no pictures in my house. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's pictures, but it wasn't a thing like, oh, let's dress up and take pictures. We didn't go on vacations. At best, when my dad's company would give tickets to Dorney Park, we might roll out there. And one time we went to the baseball game. But we didn't do family trips. So I just thought Jamaicans, all they do is work. They don't do family trips. And then I get there and I see all these Jamaicans taking trips. So it's like, you really gotta see the world, because, I wasn't wrong in what I saw, and what I saw was real. People around me didn't take trips, but you gotta meet more people. But you don't need to hear that from me, you know that. I think this is the 5th summer since I've been back. 4th or 5th, I don't know. I wasn't keeping track or whatever. But next summer, Japan, I'm going. And if I don't go to Japan, I'm going somewhere outside the country. Well, depending on the state of the country, because shit is real out here. But Japan is probably my first pick. I want to go back to the motherland, my motherland, but not my mother's land. And not the motherland, but, the place where I was hanging out for years and whatever. My nieces and my grandnieces, they're going to Dorney Park. So I was looking it up, and it's like, growing up, I thought Dorney Park was like 10,000 miles away. Because you get in the car, and it's like, are we there yet? Now I work. I could throw a rock and hit Dorney Park, but I'm 5 minutes away. And every time I drive by, like, oh shit, that's Dorney Park. But I haven't been since I've been home. So I was thinking I should go. but I gotta do something with all this. So I made an appointment, 10 o'clock. Gonna get shaped up. I hate going to the barbers. This barber's cool. You know, they don't play loud music. Not that I don't like loud music, but since I've been home, they're playing music that I don't like. I don't know. Around where I live, a lot of the barbers are Latin, Spanish, and they're playing. I could do reggaeton all day, like. I mean, that's old school reggaeton. But the one, because the closest one walking, I go there and let me get my walk on. They'd be like shouting. You know how barbershops do. They be shouting, but now I don't know what they're talking about. I can't even pretend because they're just. When I was in Japan, I used to go to this African spot and they were shouting, and I guess so. My association is you go to barbershop, people shout. I don't want to hear all this shouting. I just want to get my cut and be out. But this one, for the longest time, they weren't playing any music. It was just silence. Now I noticed they're playing some music. But you make your appointment, you pop in there. I've been with the same guy for, I don't know, a year. So he knows what I'm trying to get. I don't got to explain it. Because that's the other thing. They did away with the little pictures. Because I just point. I want a number 5 today. I want number 6. Now I got to explain it. One time I did all this explaining. When I walked out, I wanted my sideburns like... When I came out, they were fucked up. So I just shaved them off. I paid the money, gave them a tip, and then I was like, I don't like it. Shave that shit off. So I got a 10 o'clock appointment. And I was searching. And lo and behold, today is Reggae Day. I don't know what day it is, but when I searched, a bunch of places are having events from New York to wherever to Bethlehem, which is like right up the street. So I'm like, I'm going to the Reggae Fest. I'm going to get my shit there. I'm actually going to get some, well, I don't know. I'm going to go shopping on a day of, but I'm going to get some shorts or something. This is all I wear all summer. My sweatpants, which got a hole in the back of them, been wearing them. They're my favorite sweats. And then I got these other shorts. I don't like them. I got them for if I'm on my walking, talking thing, but I want to look fly. I don't think I could find a reggae flag or a reggae colored thing. I'd have to go to like places where they sell weed. They usually have, not that it's synonymous, but I want some colors. So let me think. Maybe a Bob Marley shirt. I've never worn one. Or a lion, I don't know. So that's pretty exciting. And then I'm thinking I might make this a whole day. Because then afterwards, they're going to have the after party. And after the party's a hotel lobby. And after the original is probably this. Fiesta, yes ma, Fiesta remix with the homie from the Midwest. That song, I remember the first time I heard the remix. I'm like, what? I was excited. There's a new 2 Live Crew, I suppose you knew. Don't approach you, sir. Bullets will chase you like Moet Mimosas, Kekagirl Coasters, Black to the... I mean, Jay-Z would be my favorite MC. He's not my favorite MC, but he's my favorite MC. Because when I rap, you know, I'm not all that. Political type rapping was never my thing. Metaphysical, lyrical, I like it, but that wasn't my thing. Shouting, DMX style, like having the voice. I don't have the voice. I have a smooth voice. And then killing is there. So Jay-Z kind of balances all that, making dance songs and whatever. But anyway, I digress. I guess I don't really digress. I'm digressing correctly. So since I haven't been posting videos, I do make them. I got to keep updating you on what is. So currently I am studying for my teacher certification. There's 2 parts. Technically, I just thought of it. All I really got to do to get certified is take a test. I take the test and boom, I'm certified. which I didn't know. I'm in a whole damn course. So I'll get a master's, but you don't need a master's. You just need to be certified. But they do kind of intersect. What you learn in your master's is how to teach. So in addition to having your certification, I'll also have a degree saying this guy has been taught how to teach. And I am learning. One of my biggest complaints as a teacher is, no one taught me how to teach. And they're expecting me to do shit that I didn't know how to do. But now it's like, I know it now. Then I'm excited. I'm probably the only teacher who's excited to go back to school because I want to see this in real time. You know, making my lesson plans, making my way downtown, lesson plans, teaching kids how to learn. Like, that's how excited I am. I go to school, now I'm on summer vacation, right? The big thing, teachers, they get off on the summer. Oh, I'm so lucky. First of all, and the whole thing you get paid. First of all, it works something like this. Let's say for the year you make $12, or may say $1,200, or $120,000, whatever. And each month you make $1, $10, $100, whatever. Like, I'm not a math teacher. We'll keep it $12, right? So every month you make $1. Now in the summertime, it's stretched out, so that's just built in. So August, June, July, you're getting that $1 that you already worked, they just divided. You could have a similar effect if you take your full salary and then put away money. So when summer comes, you can draw a salary. It'll be the same thing. But you probably wouldn't feel the same way. You're like, I just put it away, saved it. But anyway. So, but we're off. We don't have to go to work. And a lot of my coworkers are enjoying life. I was at work, and I'll get to that part. But I was at work, and she's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I live here. I do go there a lot. And most likely, if you pop in, you'll probably see me. But she's like, I'm going on a cruise. I emailed one of my other coworkers. She's like, I'm just relaxing, and as you should, because it is a stressful year once the kids get there. But it doesn't have to be stressful. If I prepare for the battle that's at hand, I might be able to mitigate some of the stress that's going to come. For example, printing. Printing has always been an issue. Like, you go in there and it's time to go print. You go in there and there's someone printing in front of you. And they print. They print everything and they leave no paper. Now you got to go across the street to get a ream of paper. All right, now you got your ream of paper, and now there's no ink. Don't worry, you got your own printer. Now you're printing your own shit, and the kids come in and they want their stuff now. Now they don't want their stuff. If there's nothing to have, they will gladly waste time. So you're printing. Now your printer's fast. You print in real time. Boom, boom, boom. You give it to them. But that takes up precious time. Things just gotta be ready all the way. So I printed out 100. Well, I got some worksheets. They're called bell ringers. But think like morning work. So when kids come into the classroom, they have some little assignment to do. Last year I was random with it. I gave them stuff to do, which they didn't like it, and they couldn't do it. It was a worksheet on alphabetizing, putting words in order. These kids could not do that. I'm like, what? They could use the dictionary. I thought this would be a good skill builder so they can use the dictionary so they can find the words they don't know, but they just were resistant to it. I don't blame them, because I don't use a dictionary. If I don't know how to spell a word, one, spell checker is gonna do a little squiggly line, and then I run it through Grammarly, and Grammarly is gonna do a spell thingy, and I may do a little proofread. Most of the time I don't proofread shit. I trust these guys. If I don't know a word, I may plug the word into Google, be like, what is this word? Oh, that's my definition. Or I might do the context clues or whatever. So to have kids take out a dictionary, and it really is a useless skill that I'm just doing because that's what my teachers had me do, and that's what their teachers, but I got to break the cycle. So I wanted morning work that would align with whatever we're learning for the day or for the class. So if we're learning about verbs, then the morning work would be verbs. And I also extended the morning work because it was just for English, but also got science related ones. For religion, we don't have that. So anyway, my point is I printed out a whole year of the worksheets, the first part. Now I got to go back in and print up copies of each sheet for the whole year. We're talking 180 days of worksheet time, 30 kids. Just print all that shit up. I'm doing, so imagine at any given point throughout the year, I'll have this all like ready. And then I'll put it in order. So it'll be like, all right, we're doing this. Now the order part, I got to do that later. I don't have to do that, but just the printing part. So printing up, all right, do the math, 180 papers. Now some of them I might not need. I might feel like, yeah, we're never gonna learn this. But let's just say 180 papers times 30 students. Now I don't have 30 students, but you know, extras. And boom. All that's gonna be done. I'll be ready to go. That's one less thing. I'm also the science teacher. Well, I got to do it for science and ELA. So, and then for science, I got 3 classes. So 180 times 90 students. That's a lot of paper. You might say, why don't you do it online? Nope. I want physical papers. Yeah, we could do it online, and that might happen at times, but I want the physical papers just so I can hand them out. I also need to come up with systems where the kids will just lock in. So, because another area where time is lost is where I have the papers and I start passing them out, boop, 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 from left side, right side, then pass them back. Then there's one kid, I didn't get the paper. Now that's a good kid. There's one kid who didn't get the paper, but he didn't say anything. He's just like sitting there. Kids are working on their papers. Now one kid, he sits directly in front of me and I'm looking at him and he's just looking to the sky. Now I'm looking at him. He's looking to the sky. I'm looking at him. I said, Junior, what are you doing? He goes, now in the case of Junior, he has the paper on his desk. He just doesn't have a pencil. And I'm like, why aren't you doing the work? Said, I don't have a pencil. So why don't you ask somebody? Now, granted, if he asked me, I'll say, how are you coming to school without a pencil? But he could ask his classmate. He will talk to his classmates about everything else. Get a pencil. So the whole pencil thing is an issue. So I worked on that where I banned them from being able to use the pencil sharpener because they will sit there and just, because we got electric ones, so it'll be like, bzzz, and they would do this till it's all small and it'll get jammed in there. So you can't have a pencil sharpener. But I got a new pencil sharpener where you put the pencil in there, it goes, bzzz, and it automatically will bring it down and bring it back up. So there'll be less of a waste of time. But all these things, I gotta kind of come with systems. So if I have the students give out the papers, then I don't have to do it. And they just will do it. Boom, 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 boom. Collect the papers, get the papers, make sure everyone has the papers. And then once these systems are in place, in theory, I have other things to worry about, but it won't be a paper thing. So I'm excited to get all these systems, and I'm the science teacher. So back to the praxis test, right? So they said the only thing that this school can give me a degree in. Now remember, I could just take any practice test and be certified, which I didn't know was that simple. But because I didn't ask well, one, no one knew. When I went to my guidance counselor, when I'm talking to people like, oh, I don't know. Aren't you a teacher? Aren't you? Neither here nor there. But yeah, take a test, be certified. Like for example, let's say you were working in the biotech company, and you decide I want to switch careers and become a teacher. You don't need to technically go to school and all that. You just take the test saying you can teach biology, which if that is your major, or that's what you've been doing all your life, then it would be a nice transition. Private schools, you technically don't need anything. That's how I'm able to teach without a degree or anything. Substitute teachers, but the more little pieces of papers you get, the more money you can have. But anyway, so the praxis test, they told me, because I teach 6th grade science, 7th grade science, and 8th grade science, I have to take the biology test, which I didn't want to do because I'm not a science major. I wanted to take communication, which would have been easy, but I don't teach. It might have worked if I taught English to 6th, 7th, and 8th, because it's whatever you teach the most of that they will certify you in. But so anyway, biology. So I got the books, taking a test. So this test covers the scientific method. I'm a little shaky on that. I know it, but I don't know it but I'm whatever. Environmental, like, what is the gas that is causing the greenhouse effect? That's easy. And what is the area that is cold? Tundra. I never been there, but so those things I kind of remember learning. But cells, I did remember teaching cells 2 years ago to the 8th graders and doing all I can to make it exciting. I found this rap about the cell cycle, prophase, anaphase, PMAT. Prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and then at the end, cytokinesis or some shit like that. But I found this random guy who was rapping it, like prophase, metaphase, da. And I gave it to the kids. Watch this video, answer the question. The kids who watched it, they came to class and they're like, Mr. Bailey, prophase, metaphase. And 2 years later, they just busted out singing that, and that it keeps reinforcing that music can work. I could be that guy teaching or rapping, and I want to do that this year. But again, I need to know the whole plan. But I'll get to that when I get to that. So I'm a little okay with that. But then genetics, anneals, and heterozygous, and never heard of it. So this shit, I gotta. In fact, that's probably like there's 5 parts, and I think that's like 18% of the test. And then, so it is an uphill battle. Right now, I took the test, practice test. The test is $130, but I took the practice test, and I got a 54 the first time I took it, or 51. So the good point to this 51, I was able to do that in 46 minutes. The test, you get like 2 hours and 30 minutes or some shit. So I'm just fine. So I took the test yesterday. I got a 58. So I went up 7 points after I went through. Well, I got this this online training course. It got 39 modules, roughly about an hour per module. And you just go through it. And I did a whole thing about genes or cells. And I'm here's the best part. I'm excited every time I'm learning new shit. Blown away. like right now you're looking at me, right? You're hearing me, blah, blah, blah. But if you were to keep going deeper inside of my body, you get to the point where it's just cells doing cell things. And they are it's real time. Like, you are hearing me in real time. Because our bodies are just so, like, I touch I could, excitement. And this is a good thing, because when I'm teaching it, I'm excited I'll be sounding such exciting, because, what is that down there? Because kids, they feed off our excitement. If we're excited, they're excited. And even if they're not excited, they're more interested. Like, why is this guy interested? Versus someone just like, well, this is what you're going to have to do. This is why that's important. You need this for life. Do you really need to know what's inside of your cells? No. But could it help your life? Yeah. So I'm working on that, and, just chugging away. My test will be in a month. And basically, I just got to get that 50. I need to get I want to say 80. But why stop 80? I need like a 90. If I get a 90, I will pass with flying colors. And in theory, I am now a certified biology teacher. But again, I'm taking a master's course to get a master's in the teaching English to high school. I'm a middle school teacher. So that's even more opportunities, because I can go get another test, $130. But I could take another test to get certified in middle school science, which will be easier. Like, I'm starting all the way up here. I will murder the middle school test. That would be an issue. And then get certified for the middle school English language arts, whatever. Which, again, more degrees, more money. But I'm not technically doing it for the money. And again, who knows the future? I mean, I could die from a heart attack right now. I shouldn't say that, because who was I just listening to? Charlemagne the God. I just finished his book, Shook Ones. And although I don't like him, but it's like, you never really know a person till you know a person, or at least how they present themselves in their book. And, he is basically, this guy's nervous about everything. Now, he did say this one. He's like, I'm nervous that when I go into the woods, one of those brain-eating ticks will get me. I think about that all the time, because I seen a video where someone was sick. They didn't know what happened. They died, and it turned out it was some random tick that was all like doing tick things on them, and that shit scares me. But I'm still out here, He's having like panic attacks. I don't think did I ever have a panic attack? Maybe when was I most panicked? On the plane, when the turbulence come, that shit's scary. If you ever been on a plane with me, which there's only one person who's ever, I went to Jamaica with my mom, family, but flying with a friend, only that happened once. But I grip the seat, and I start, that shit's scary. Getting blood work, I got blood work the other day, and I clenched my fist, and I closed my eyes, and she's like, are you ready for are you ready if it's gonna feel like and I started to breathe, like, because you gotta breathe, right? Breathe. 1 into the 2, and 2 into the, so I breathe. But another time, I think the first official panic attack I had, because I didn't know what this was. I was at school, and I was eating my spicy chicken that I was cooking. Spicy chicken I cooked. I'm eating. I'm all excited. And then all of a sudden, I couldn't burp. Like, it felt like there was a bubble, and I couldn't. It was a weird feeling. Never felt this before. And I was just like, am I going to throw up? Am I going to choke? I didn't know what it was. And so I'm in the teacher's room. There's 2 teachers. And I go outside and I go behind the teacher's room. I'm in the hallway, just sitting there. And I'm like starting to get nervous. And I'm all, and I'm all like, and then it's all like, because I felt like I wanted to throw up. Like, I never felt this before. Next thing I know, I throw up. Like, I haven't thrown up in like 10, 15 years, 20 years. I don't throw up. It's weird. I don't know if that's a normal thing, but I don't drink. I don't go on roller coaster rides. I don't know. I don't eat poison stuff. So I don't know. I don't throw up. So that feeling, now, if you're doing what you do, it's a normal thing. Anyway, so I throw up, and it's like the liquid is like a clear liquid. And when the way it came out was like I can't. Oh, you probably know what I'm already talking about. You're like, I didn't know this. So then I'm scared because 1, I don't know what this is. 2, I don't want to do that in front of my students. It might be scary for them, and my life would depend on them. So I just kind of chill out, and then I go back in. So that felt like a minor panic attack. I don't know. And I let it go. I don't know. It went away. Life was good. It happened again when I was at home eating my spicy chicken. And I'm like, oh shit, it's coming again. And then I sit there, now I'm ready for it. I'm trying to calm myself to breathe. Breathe. And then same process and whatever. So then I'm like, fuck all that shit. No more spicy chicken. I love my spicy chicken. So then the 3rd time it happened, I was eating Chipotle. And I'm like, I got to get rid of that. So in those moments, that's when I felt panic attack, because I never felt that. Didn't like it. And but I started to breathe. Kind of just, I'm not going to die. Because if you start overreacting, it will make it worse. But to say all that, to say this. But Charlemagne, the guy, the Breakfast Club guy, he be having these panic attacks every 3 seconds, which is just, I couldn't imagine. Everyone's different. We're built different. But he took it and he turned it into, fuel to like push him further. He at one point is like, if I was an X-Men, my superpower is anxiety. It keeps me focused. But just kind of taking whatever it is and turning your weakness into a strength. I could subscribe to that. But yeah, I went off. I was reliving that second. But yeah, so he was saying, I see why I connected all that. But he was saying that your brain, and I heard this before, and brain science, but it's like what you tell your brain is what it believes. So if you say, nobody likes me, your brain is going to make that so. It's going to, that's what you told it. And this goes back, now I'm connecting it to my biology test. Our cells are just doing their jobs. All right, like where are we at? So our cells are doing the job. All right, so I went to the dentist, or the orthodontist, the other day. And this dentist lady, look at this little bunny. Or is it a bunny? A rabbit? What's the difference? Bunnies, rabbit, bunny, rabbit? Let me focus. So I'm at the dentist, and this woman is like, she's putting her hand on my shoulder, like, hi, how you doing? Like, I guess I don't like people touching me like that. That's weird. I don't like anybody touching me. It's weird. Because I wasn't hugged as a baby. I don't know. I don't remember being hugged. I don't remember, goodbye, Mom. Goodbye, Dad. Like, it just wasn't a thing. We're not huggers. Anyway, so I was there because a couple months ago, I went to the dentist and I was like, I want braces, because their practice or their place does braces. Like, well, before that, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this treatment plan. I'm like, fine. So I did everything. And it was, one of the things I had to extract a tooth, right? And that shit was bleeding all over the place, right? And on that day, I had to go to the bank, and I tried to take money out, but you can't take that much out through the ATM. So I had to go into the office. Person in front of me doing that, I got all the time in the world stuff. Meanwhile, my shit is bleeding, and it's like a throbbing because I was, numbed up, and it's bleeding. And I got a little tissue, and that shit's all like getting filled with saliva and blood, and I look like a mess. So I did all that. Finally, I scheduled the appointment for to meet with the orthodontist guy. And the guy comes in here like, about 2% of the population have what you have. And so basically, you see that girl. So my teeth go outwards, which
split two, split pace,
it is what that was. But the reason is because my body, my cells, they wanted, you need to have yes, straight teeth are great, but they serve a function. Like if your teeth are to the side, like if you're like an alpaca, or it'll be difficult to eat, chew, and food will get stuck, and it can mess up your breathing, all that. So your cells in your body, without you, like when we think of involuntary, we think of my heart, bump, 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 blinking, but there's so many more involuntary things happening. So my teeth, my cells are like, all right, we need the teeth to line up, but his teeth are this way, so we're going to compensate. And they just went in there. My little cells go in there, and they start like manufacturing the best way for my mouth. And they came up with this, and then they did their thing. Which I'm blown away by that, because I didn't ask them to do that. It'd be the same way where baby teeth. You know how, well, maybe you don't know how, because they showed me the x-ray. It was kind of cool. So your baby teeth, and they're there, and then your full teeth are underneath it, and they just kind of push up, and then it kind of caps it, and all without you doing shit. You just, one day they're there, next day they're not. Now some people, they still got their baby teeth. Other people got ingrowns and all that. But our cells are just, so I'm fascinated. But anyway, the guy's like, so because 2% of the population have what you have, he gave it a name. And he even went to say, I had it too. And basically it's, growing up, my tongue would rest on my teeth. And I basically pushed my teeth forward, or my body compensated for the pressure of my tongue, and it gave a little space, which, hooray, hurrah. But you can also get this if you are sucking on a pacifier, sucking on your thumb. Your tongue is supposed to rest on the top of the roof of your mouth. He didn't tell me this. He just said I need to go to specialists. I was kind of pissed. Like, this happened in April. It was supposed to be my April gift to myself, getting braces. But I'm like, whatever. But then I was like, you know what? Let me see. So I do the consultation, and I'm here with the doctor who's all touching up on me like that. But anyway, so she's explaining it more, and she's like, your tongue got to rest on the top of your mouth. So every time, she gave me an exercise. I'm supposed to take a lifesaver and hold it to the top of the roof of my mouth. Don't eat it, don't chew it, just hold it there. Because ultimately, if I get braces, if I continue to push my teeth forward, I will push them out again and undo the braces, which is whatever. Now, she's like, so this is a little exercise you can do. If you can't do that, we have $1,000 program. Fuck that shit. I will. So now every time I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh shit. But So, and this is how that connects. So our bodies, if you give it the circumstances, I'd be picking up these pennies. The pennies with the heads on it, because it's good luck. It's crazy. I don't know if it's good luck. But the body, whatever you tell the body, it believes you. It's like that mind self-talk and all that shit. So if you're like, I'm going to do great things, see, look, all these pennies are tails. But so your body believes what you tell it. So if you say, I'm going to be great, your body's going to make you great subconsciously. Just like your cells, if you punch, like if you play the guitar, that's a better one. You play the guitar, your body's going to make your fingers, what's the word, calloused? Because it's like, all right, this guy wants to do this, so let's make it better for him. Like if you cut your finger, your body's going to clot it without you asking. Like, shit's beautiful. Now, again, if you have some issues, problems, genetics, whatever, it's gonna mess that up for you. But yeah. So anyway, I that was my whole point. But so the dentist said that that's what I got. They can fix it. Braces, and she kept asking me, so you got any questions? The only question I really had is, how much does it cost and how long do I have to wear these? Because I'm thinking in my head, it's going to cost like $8 million. I don't got $8 million. Maybe my insurance will pay for it. I don't know, but just give me the number. So, and she kept stopping, which I do like. Because my experience with dentists, they don't tell you shit. They just stand here, do that. Here's the cost. But she's just like, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? Yeah, I'm not used to people like, but it's kind of like you get what you pay for, you know? Like this dentist place, they had, like when I walk in there, she's like, hi, do you want a tour of the facilities? I'm like, sure. So we're walking around like, this is the bathroom, and over here is da-da-da, and over here is this, and this is my favorite place. This is where you can sit down and watch TV. And over here, this is after you get your braces off, we give you this free bag of candy. Like, what? And it was like a dispenser, like, you know how you used to put quarters in and do it? It's like open. Like shit like that. I'm not used to that. Again, this goes back to what I started with, if you were following me for that long. The world is a big place, and there's so many experiences you can have or can't have. It really depends on who you are and where you are, and it really colors the life you have. Anyway, so finally I'm sitting there in this back office looking at the wall with all these degrees that this dentist doctor lady is having, and she got on no practice and all that. But she's like, it will cost $9,000 or $8,000, $8,500 or whatever, with a down deposit of $1,500. I'm like, I could do that. That's a rollie. I can get a rollie or get my teeth fixed, or I can get a car, and then the monthly payments would be $340. But I've always wanted these braces, you know. If you follow me long enough, you might have heard me. It comes up. The other day, I'm talking to someone. She's like, why are your teeth messed up? Did you suck on your tongue? No, bitch. I didn't say that. I would never call a woman a bitch. Now, if looks can kill, she may interpret it. Did you just call me? I didn't say anything, but you look like... But, the other day, I was in school teaching, and this girl says, why are your teeth so crooked? Like, there's a picture of my dad, because I have him on the wall. And you're like, how come your dad's teeth are straight? Why are your teeth so crooked? Now, you know, she's what, 11? I don't have any malice with that. Dumb question. This is when adults say that shit. I once was dating a girl. She said, I'd never date anybody with crooked teeth. Now we're dating. And I was like, I got mad. I took it to heart. She's like, what's wrong, baby? What's wrong? Oh, I wasn't talking about you. What the fuck you weren't? But so that's been my thing, right? Some people, they want to lose weight. I mean, I'm not fat. I don't know. I'm not where I want to be. I want to have abs of steel or abs of bronze. I don't know. I'm not super tall, but I'm not like running around short kinging it up. Smart, intellect. Like, I feel smart, man. I'm taking a test and I'm retaining shit. Creative. I'm creative as fuck. Socially, that's probably one of the biggest areas I gotta figure out. It's my hope that I'm not gonna go in there. I don't. But yeah, overall, I'm happy with myself. You know, more or less. But so yeah, and then they said, now you got to get braces, but your jaw, it is built in a way that you're never gonna have perfect straight teeth because your bone structure is kind of, again, this all happened when I was young, and they could correct it when you're young because your body's still growing. You know, the cells are doing cell things. Now the cells have moved on to other jobs, so they're no longer doing that. So I would have to get my get some bone structure surgery, which is scary because I could change everything, change how I sound, how I rap, and it's an extra, who knows, it could be another $10,000. So I do want to just hear them out. So they're going to hook me up with some consultation. I'll see what they got to say, and we'll see if it's feasible. But and really the correction, my teeth will be like, I can't really show you. My teeth will be not straight, but they'll be straightish. And it's kind of a thing where you can't do it after the fact, so I would have to do it now, because again, braces are just kind of holding it so it grows in a certain way. If it grows in a certain way, then so that's more or less the idea. So I think I'm gonna do it. Why not? It'd be interesting. And I was thinking to get the mill houses. That's what I'm calling them, mill houses. Like the metal ones. I can get the clear ones and all that shit. But if I'm paying $340, I want to know that I have them. Every day I look in the mirror. And I gotta work on a smile. I don't smile. That's one reason I don't smile. I mean, I smile when I smile, but I don't smile. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a whole whatever. But yeah. That's all that. And I always put this way at the end. Every time I made this video, I put it all at the end because, you know, when you make, I mean, I learned this early on. A lot of new people are learning it the hard way. What you put out there, is no longer yours. This is content, music. So you put out some stupid statement. All trees are stupid. And then the environmental posse comes up and they start blasting you. And you dodge a couple of them like, fuck is you talking? You only got 1 subscriber. You don't even know me. But then you start getting more and more and more. Now they start to bury you and you're like, leave me alone. It was just this is my opinion. And you know what I'm talking about. Charlemagne was saying this shit. He's like, well, I guess people were upset with what I said, but, you know, I didn't mean it that way. And I'm a big subscriber to shut the front door. You shut the door, no one is coming in. No one is coming into your space and saying shit. Now, some people, it seems, are unable to do that. Like, something inside of them is just always like, I gotta say what I gotta say because I gotta say what I say. But they're not ready for what's gonna come, which is weird. Like if you're gonna put your foot in your mouth, then at least have some pepper and salt. If you're not gonna make your bed, then sleep on the floor. Like, that's a simple philosophy I've always had. Maybe it's because how I was raised. I wasn't raised in a, what do you think, Johnny? It was kind of, kids don't speak. And so I didn't speak. And it went into adulthood. You rarely see me saying shit. You can see that I want to say something. And usually what I'm saying is divergent on some. If everyone's talking about pink, I'm talking about blue. If everyone's talking about blue, I'm talking about pink. Not on some devil's advocate shit. It's just, that's just how I'm wired. So I'm talking to this woman, right? We're talking. And as always, the flags are there. But people always tell me I don't give people a chance, which doesn't make sense because I see the flags. And I'm like, well, let's give them a chance. So this person said to me, you know, I sometimes do things and then I just apologize. Red flag right there. Why are you doing stuff that you know you're going to apologize for? Red flag number 2. She said, before my dad died, I didn't speak to him because I did something that he didn't like and he stopped talking to me. And then I tried begging for his forgiveness, but he never forgave me and then he died. Red flag number 2. Now, she didn't go into details of what it was. It might be she married the wrong person or something, which, I don't know. I left it alone. That's another thing. Don't pry into people's business. They're going to tell you. But, so what happened? Like, anyway, so that's red flag number 2. And then the fact that if I'm talking to someone and they were married and now they're divorced, it's not a flag, but it's kind of what had happened to divorce up your family. Something had to happen. So anyways, that's the background. So I knew what I was getting into, whatever. We're talking. And I think the first time she said something like, so are you close with your family? I paused. I'm not saying that I'm on odd ends with my family, but you know, I lived in Japan for 12 years. I've clearly, now you know this, but she just met me. But I wasn't like homesick. Very rarely was I homesick. And I went home every other year, which kind of alleviated the homesick. All right, I seen you guys. And when I would come home, I started coming home less and less time. So I came home once for 6 days. Just pop in, hey. And really it was just to get on my mail and get some things that I needed and then pop back out. But so, you know, family's a sore spot. So she's like, are you close? Do you hang out? Do you talk? Like, not really. She's like, why not? Family's important. And I'm like, don't tell me how to, especially because you, now I didn't say this. This is like a bullet in the chamber. Like what I would say, how are you going to tell me about family when your dad died and you didn't even get your what's the word, your resolution, conclusion, your finality. So don't tell me about shit about my dad. I didn't say that. I'm thinking it. I didn't say it. So I don't say anything. She's like, why aren't you talking? I'm like, because I don't want to say the wrong words to make our budding relationship go north or south. So let it go. She brings it up again. So, did you cook for your dad? Yeah. My dad doesn't eat the food I eat. And when I do cook for him, he'd be all like, there's not enough pepper. Cook yourself. You don't like it, you don't like it. So again, silence. And then she just kind of like, why don't you want to talk about your dad? I said, because you don't know him. So when you start giving your advice that I didn't ask for, it's off. It's awful. But so eventually I just come out and say, listen, I don't want to talk about my family. You don't know them. We have an interesting relationship. I am here for my dad. That's why I left Japan. I could be in Japan. I could be doing this in Japan, but I'm here because my mom passed. Blah, 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 blah. So then after that point, now I got to this because I was just like, shut the hell up. I don't want. Now she did still continue. Did you do this? What you did? But she would kind of stop herself from going deeper. So I could see whatever. But this is just one of many things. She just never would listen, despite explaining and all that. So finally, we get into this huge, it's over. But she would ask these questions like, do you like me? Now she's 47 years old. She's an adult. And I would say something like, I'm talking to you, right? But do you like me? Are you serious about us? And I'm like, I'm 44. Do you think I have time to sit there and like talk to 8 million people? That makes no sense. I'm talking to you. Every time you call me, the phone picks up. Every time I call you, every day, we talked every day, right? But do you like me? I'm like, what? I just want to be assured. That's another flag. I said something like, you sound like a little girl. She said, I'm not a little girl. How dare? That's not what I said. It's not what I meant. So we smooth it over. Life goes on. A couple more weeks. It comes up again. She's asking a question. She's like, so, I said, stop asking me questions. Why can't I ask you questions? Because your questions, you already know the answer to them. Or you'll know the answer. Like she asked me a question. So in the future, do you want to have kids? I said, I don't know. We gotta meet. We haven't even met yet. So it's like, I gotta see you and I don't know, teaching with the, I don't know. Are you gonna go back to Japan? I don't know. Right now I'm taking care of my dad, although I am going to Japan next summer. 5 years, man. 5 years, I earned a couple of weeks in Japan. But just a bunch of questions that I can't technically answer because I just don't know. So she'll ask the question, I'll be like, I can't answer that. She's like, but I'm just asking. And I'm just like, stop asking. Stop asking these questions. Why can't you let me ask you questions? Everybody, what's wrong? I'm like, because your questions are, my diet is like, I eat fish. Fish is fine. Fish is healthy. And so I eat fish with rice and fish with a potato and fish with a sandwich. I used to switch it up with chicken, but spicy chicken was giving me all that extra shit. Fish is whatever. She'll ask me every day, so what are you eating? I'm like, fish. The next day, what are you eating? Fish. What are you eating? Fish. I'm like, why do you keep asking me? You clearly know what I mean, but you might eat something else. It doesn't matter what I'm... Now, for my long-term people, you're like, Matthew. And that's why you're... And to that, I would say, yeah, that's why. But, you can't even say a but, because when you say a but, it's like, but I'm throwing in the butt. Why not? We're going to throw in the butt. It's me. And actually, I'm not even, it is what it is. Say what you got to say. As I said, you put it out there, think what you're going to say. But, so finally, 3 days ago, we're talking, we're supposed to meet today. Today was supposed to be finally we're going to meet after like weeks? 2 months of talking? I don't know. I don't keep track like that. But finally we're supposed to meet, and but anyway, so we're talking, and she says something like, can I ask you a question? Now, we had our little things and we came to a agreement. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not that she doesn't ask me questions. She asks me questions all the time. Questions come, questions go. So, how was your day? What did you do? It's the other questions, the insecure questions. So she says, can I ask you a question? I'm like, all right. Sure. She says, why don't you video call me anymore? And it again, it's one of those. Now, in hindsight, I could have said this. I could have said, I'm sorry. Do you want a video call now? And she most likely would have been like, okay. And then the timeline would have been, I would have been going off to meet her. It's long distance. She lives an hour somewhere in Pennsylvania, whatever. But she comes down to where I live all the time, so whatever. So that would have happened. But you already know what I did. I said, why are you asking? She said, because we haven't, I always video call you, and you don't video call me. I'm like, one, that is not true. Not true at all. So I don't like that. Number two, we haven't talked all week. We talked for like 5 minutes. Well, we video chatting for 5 minutes. 3, if you want a burger, go eat a burger. So if you want a video call. Like, so I say that. She doubles down. Well, don't you like me anymore? And then I just, like, I'm done. So I say this. I say, all right, I'll call you tomorrow. I need to process this. I don't want to have some blown out fight, whatever. Tomorrow we can just talk this. Let me sleep on it. All right, goodbye. She said, goodbye. With as much sass and whatever. So I'm getting ready to go study. Because the whole thing is, studying, I need to pass my freaking tests so I could do the things I'm trying to do. I got plans. Do not want to spend, because usually when we get into it, it's hours and hours of and the truth is, I don't have time for that. I ain't got time for that. So, so I hang up and I'm getting ready to study. The phone rings. Of course, it's her. She calls me. She starts yelling at me. You don't want to talk to me. If you want to talk to me, fine. And it's at this point that the light bulb went off. I feel like a spaceship. Oh. So at this point, I'm just kind of like, we're not doing this. And I said the word, which is probably more. Now, the thing is, leading up to all this, I'm like, I'm me. I didn't say it this way, but I'm surgical with my words. If I'm not speaking, it's because I don't know how to say it in a way that's not going to, whatever. And if I am speaking, I'm saying it. There's nothing to be interpreted. I'm saying it. It is what it is, I'm saying it directly. You don't gotta, but I thought you meant. No, I said it exactly how I said it. So I said, when people are insecure, she says, I'm not insecure. She starts, I said, oh, you called me. I wanted to take a breather, go to sleep. I told you I'd call you tomorrow. You called me. Let me finish. I said, when people are insecure, They ask questions. You don't need and I gave some examples. And then for the next 30 minutes, I'm just monologuing to myself. And then I said something like, you don't have anything to say? Are you going to the reggae festival? No. Oh. So then I say, I bet she is. I'll be up there like, I said you could. But I said, do you have anything to say? Oh, you're still talking. I was like, I could talk all day. As you know, I'm talking for an hour. So then I'm like, listen, this is what's gonna happen. I'm done talking. I gotta work on my paper. Well, actually, I got grad work too. So I got grad work, and I got this. So I'm like, I'll email you in the morning, and I'm all ears. I'll be ready to hear what you got to say. And then the next day, she never called. And the next day, didn't call. And today, didn't call. And I'm okay with that, because one thing I got from my therapy things is when you set your boundary, people are supposed to respect that. Anyone who goes out of their way not to respect your boundary is not really good for you, not necessarily toxic. Maybe and you know, in the grand scheme of things, we're all different. Maybe some people need assurance and other people don't. I'm good. I believe what I believe. Someone said they're going to do it, and up until that point, I believe it. And when they don't do it, then I will adjust accordingly. Or maybe other people need to get this every day. Reassurance. I'm not a reassurance person. Like, you know, I signed a contract. That means I'm supposed to be here every day. That means I'm supposed to do my work. That means I show up and do it. If my boss was like, so did you do your work today? It'd be irritating. So that's my story. So where we at? 8 o'clock. So I'm gonna do some studying and then get my hair cut and then go shopping and then go to the reggae festival and live my life. But anyway, if this pops up, thank you for listening. If not, well, I guess you won't see this. But anyway, peace.